Cars are a big part of our lives. They get us from A to B, they can drive themselves, people sometimes get intimate in them, and I'd say on the scale of useful inventions, they're pretty high up there, along with electricity and music. But with millennials choosing 21 as the ideal time to buy their first car, then why don't I have one at 25? The first reason for me is cost. The reality is that right now, in my current situation, I can't afford the monthly insurance payment for someone my age. The average male in Ontario pays $2,000 per year in insurance, or a little over $150 a month. In my current situation, I can put those $150 towards something a lot more useful. See, if you know me, you know that I like to save money, except when it comes to camera gear and stuff like that. And the fact is, I'm not trying to spend my money on things that I don't necessarily need right now. And to be honest, right now, I don't really need a car. Everything that I need is close by, like the mall, groceries, the hospital, things like that. See, I look at it like this. I can either buy a drone to help progress my hobby as a filmmaker and possibly land me a job in the film industry, or I can buy a car and pay insurance on it, but it won't be helping me progress my career. Now, obviously you can say, well, yeah, because then you could drive to places and stuff like that. But everything for me is pretty close by, and if you were to get a job, making films and stuff like that, it would probably be somewhere downtown. So that's just the way I look at it. I also don't have a problem with taking the bus because my mom and I did it our whole lives. See, I talk a lot about saving on the channel because I think it's something that we should all be doing, and there really isn't a downside to it. I also don't have a car right now because I'm working on saving more money. To be honest, I'd rather save money and take the bus over having a car. And even if I did buy a used car without financing it, I'd still have to pay for insurance, gas, parking, and maintenance for the car. I feel like a lot of people, and myself included, never knew the cost of owning a car before actually looking into it. I remember when I was a kid, and you would see those car commercials on TV, whether it was Lincoln, BMW, Mercedes, any car company, and they'd say it's $300 a month. And back then I knew that you still had to pay insurance and stuff like that. But it wasn't until later that I found out about changing oil, having summer and winter tires, general maintenance, parking and stuff like that. One of my very good friends, he actually used to work downtown, and I think he said that he had to pay something like $20 a day for parking. $20 a day. That's like $100 a week. So if you make $600 a week, then that's only $500 going to you because you have to pay $100 for parking. That's $400 a month that you're paying for parking. I mean, I'm pretty sure at that point you're paying more for parking than actual insurance. Now, gas is obviously subjective because it depends on your car, how far you go, how you drive, and other things like that. But when I do the math, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'd say the average person fills up their gas tank probably once a week if they're traveling 60 kilometers per day to go to work and back when they were going to work. The average price of gas in 2020 was 99.6 cents per liter, according to Statistics Canada. And that was low because the price of oil and gas crashed in March and April because obviously we know of 2020 because obviously we know what happened. But let's say you fill up 40 liters every time you fill up. So simple math says that on average, you're spending about $40 a week on gas. 40 times 4 is $160 a month, and that's just on gas. In comparison, if I was taking the bus to go and come back home per month, if I took the bus every day, it would cost me $186, and that includes weekends. If I only took the bus on days I was working, it would only cost me $124. Obviously, it's subjective. You have to wait for the bus, it's slower, things like that. Me personally, I'd rather save the money. The next thing I want to talk about is maintenance. Now, I've never owned a car before, but I do know that cars require regular maintenance, every so often, but, most notably tire swaps and, oil changes and things like that. Side note, if you can change your oil and tires by yourself, it's highly beneficial to do it because you'll be saving money on simple things that you can do. Instead of paying for someone to change the oil, all you have to do is buy the oil and the filter. You can do it in about half an hour. I'll leave links down below to some videos to show you how to do it. Also, if you can change your own tires, then do so, because then once again, you're saving money on something that you can do by yourself, which again, only takes about half an hour. The only bad thing about the tires is that you have to have another set of rims to keep the other set of tires on when they're not in use. Honestly though, like if you're looking to buy a car, just get a Honda or a Toyota or something like that, and you'll be well on your way. You know, they're just so efficient on gas. They're probably the most reliable cars on the roads, and to my knowledge, they're relatively easy to maintain and conduct maintenance on. Like, that's one bad thing about Teslas. No mechanic, no third-party mechanic will, touch them, because apparently they're all proprietary parts from Tesla, and they're very hard to modify and fix. So if something goes wrong, you have to go to Tesla themselves to get anything fixed. It's not like when you go get a new phone and you go to a third-party store and you get a cheap case instead of buying a $60 case from Apple. If something happens to your Tesla, you're gonna have to fork over the money for them to fix it, or hope that it's covered under warranty. But I also wanted to talk about emissions. To be honest, I don't want a car that contributes to the carbon emissions that we're spewing into the atmosphere. I care a lot about the environment, which is why in my World Peace video, I talked about solar, wind, hydroelectric, just renewable energy in general. And I know that there are new cars coming out called like hydrogen fuel cell cars or something like that, and they only emit water or something like that. And I'm glad to see that we're taking the initiative towards a future of clean energy. Like, I don't think people understand how amazing it is to have the Tesla solar panels and the batteries. Like, you have the solar panels on your roof and they charge the battery connected to your house, and then you use that same energy to charge your car, and then your house uses the stored energy in the battery, and your whole life is run on free energy from the sun. That's just like amazing to me. Obviously you have to pay for the actual solar panels and the battery and things like that, but I feel like you would make your money back pretty quickly if you lived in a sunny, place. Like, obviously if you had winter, then it would be kind of, debatable. But there is one thing that I was kind of thinking about that I wish happened. As far as I'm aware, you can't renew and cancel car insurance like how you can with, say Netflix. Right now, like if you were using Netflix, you could cancel it with no repercussions and just pick back up at a later month. I'm pretty sure that you can't do that with car insurance, because apparently there's like a first and last month, and kind of like when you're renting an apartment and you have to give first and last month's rent and stuff like that. If I could, like, I would get a car and get it insured in the cold months and drive to work or wherever I had to go. And then once it started to get warm, I'd cancel the insurance for the warm months. So then, you're only paying for insurance for like 4 months out of the year, basically, like November through to like March. I'm pretty sure you can't do that, but then I'd be able to use the car in the winter, then I'm not waiting for the bus in the cold, and it'll be more convenient, stuff like that. But maybe it'll change in the future, who knows? So if you're wondering why I'm 25 without a car, these are the reasons that I don't. Really and truly, like, I think cars are amazing pieces of engineering, and it's crazy to see, how far they've come within the past 20 years with, like self-driving, lane keep, blind spot monitoring, all this amazing technology. But the unfortunate truth is that in my current situation, it's just out of my budget. And as always, thanks for watching.